So it's been a minute since I've done one of these dream sharing videos, and this lucid dream in particular really isn't even all that neat or cool or anything. Like, it only lasted a few minutes, but something interesting did happen within this lucid dream that I don't ever recall happening in any of my previous. So I thought it might be worth sharing. So a little bit of lead up to this. This was on a night where I had to catch an early plane the next morning for work. So I was already kind of on edge when I was sleeping. I kept thinking, like, I got to get up really early in the morning. So I was just sleeping really light and I kept waking up out of dreams. And as I kept doing that, I kept thinking to myself, like, shit, I should try and go back and get lucid within one of these dreams. So then eventually, and this is really kind of like in the middle of the night, so I still had like a few more hours of sleep. But I started to see the dream breaking down, and then that clues me into the fact that I'm dreaming and I get lucid. I'm a little bit of setup here. So I was in we're in this tall building. I'm with my younger son who's 4, and it was kind of like a daycare thing, but there was a lot of other all kinds of people around. Doesn't really matter, but we're by this really big window. I get lucid and I think, like, oh, cool, I should go ahead and take my son flying and shit, go explore the dream space. So once I get lucid, I try to push my hand up against the window and pass through it so we can go outside and go explore the dream space. But when I touch the window, it feels solid. And because I'm already, in kind of an irritated mood, I think, like, shit, like, I want to just break this window. So I try, like, just to punch it hard and try to break it, which doesn't work. It still feels super solid. We're still stuck within the building. But then the neat part was my son, who's 4, once I tell him I'm dreaming, he sees me having a hard time trying to get through this window. He just simply presses his hand through the glass, follows through with the rest of his body, and passes through the window. And then me seeing him do that, all of a sudden I went, okay, hey, he's done it, no problem, and I'll just follow suit right behind him. Then it was no problem. I passed right through the window. We're on the outside for some reason, even though we're like really high off the ground. We're like right by these really big tree branches. So we're hanging out there for a bit, looking at the city. Then I think, like, hey, we should go flap to the top of the building and go check it out up there. Maybe jump off the building, because that's always the shit I like to do. Then I forget what happened. I know I don't think I even lost lucidity right then. The dream definitely didn't end right then. But, it was like in the middle of the night. I didn't bother trying to dream journal after this dream was over or anything like that. But the neat part is that my son, the dream character within the dream, helped me out in the dream space. So the reason why I think that happened is, of course, as you would probably guess, I talk about lucid dreaming stuff with my kids all the time. They know all the basic techniques and whatnot. So I think just because I had that such a strong, habit of telling them that in real life, and that kind of mental construct built up in my brain, it just makes them in particular very good, helpful dream characters to help me out within the dream space. So yeah, that could be a potential benefit to your dream practice. If you can go ahead and talk about dreaming to a lot of people who you interact with a lot in your waking life, who you will probably see a lot within your dream life, they can therefore be a helpful dream character when you get into that space.